Good evening, friends. This is Sanjay Agarwal. So I'm joined with Shobha THAROOR. She is the writer of the book, The Extraordinary Life of Lily Tharoor. That's her mother. And we have three eminent women, three authors. So they talked about feminism, and she's writing books on children. So my question to her is like, when Mr. Ganju is asked that should adults read children's book? So I want to know for your perspective. Over to you, ma'am.
Absolutely. As I said before, I think children's books are not necessarily something that's written only for children. They have good narrative structures, they have interesting messages. There's a lot that all of us can learn at every age. As I said about my poetry book, the poetry book is definitely for adults as well as for children. They may be marketed as children's books, but they are for all ages. You know, the joy of reading is not something we want to take away from adults, right? And I think the curiosity and the imagination of children's books that are kindled should be kindled in adults as well. That's my thinking.
Even I felt that when I grew up, we grew up in Bombay, and my father, he had his own library. We grew up reading Illustrated Weekly, the Reader's Digest.
Exactly.
And then I remember reading those novels in our library. We used to take to, a closed door, means reading some novels, British Nandi and everything. So as we grew up, and we felt that if we are reading those books, so you don't need kind of, what do you call a peer group. So you get mature yourselves. And if you're an adult, then if you're reading children's books, you remain young. So what's your say on that?
Oh, I think that's a lovely idea, and you're absolutely right. As I tell children when we talk about books, especially during the pandemic, at a time when children were isolated, did not have a chance to socialize, be with their friend groups, reading was a wonderful way to escape, to be entertained, to do all of that. And as you said, sometimes by reading books on particular subjects, you almost don't need, you get your education through the books. So that's a wonderful idea.
And we just want you lastly to add with your book which you're launching tomorrow at Eureka. You can talk about that book.
Well, I have a book that's the second in a series of treasure trove of timeless tales. It's published by Red Panda, who's part of the children's wing of Westland Books. And the book is a collection of short stories, but what's interesting is the thread that is in common of all the stories is we are looking for the origin of idioms in all of them. And we find that so many of the stories from the Panchatantra, from Aesop's fables, have actually sort of birthed these idioms, and we discuss that in that book.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
It's been lovely speaking to you. Thank you. My friends with the camera. You can stop. Yeah. Thank